Every day, waking up in an unstable and fragile world, we don't know what to expect next. A new pandemic, energy crisis, new armed conflicts, humanitarian and ecological catastrophes, or is it climate disasters bringing us on the brink of starvation or famine, reaching new records? So is this the world that we accept, or is it a wake-up call for us humans to change the format of society we will live in, to figure out the solutions? So, and we are here today with our guests on the platform of Creative Society Project because we want to see these solutions in our reality, like tomorrow, or basically actually already yesterday. And this is a good question. Have you seen people who united, for the one purpose to find the solutions, to unite on their own initiative, in their free time, without fundings, and who organized a worldwide forum? Well, I saw them. Our guests also saw them. That was the forum, Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live. It was a big event organized by volunteers of Creative Society Project. It was translated in 100 languages and broadcasted on thousands of platforms with this purpose to inform people about the challenges that we as society face today, but also about solutions. And if you haven't watched this forum yet, please watch it. Go on the website creativesociety.com and choose your language, one of 100, and watch it. So we are happy to hear your feedback on it. And I would like to introduce our guests. Here is the Kahlil Crawford, the MBA and author, technologist based in the United States. Hello, Kahlil.
Hello, how are you? Pleased to be here.
Happy to have you with us. And we have Marina Clifton, a health and safety professional based in the UK. Hello, Marina.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here today.
Yeah, friends, thank you very much for being with us today. And let's get started, from the very important point, the information. The information that was presented in the forum, that was really mind-blowing. And I think everyone who watched it, was overwhelmed with the amount of facts, information, studies, and researchers and experts from around the world showing the real situation in our society and in our planet that is really alarming. And all people who I'm talked to, the first question what they were asking was, why don't we have this information? Why don't we see it in the news? Why don't we hear it on the television? And why don't they show us the real picture, what is going on actually? So what are your thoughts on these questions?
I would like to share my opinion, if I may, please. Yeah, of course, I was watching that international, it's eye-opening forum, the message, the forum called, just to remind you, We Are People and We Want to Live, and it held on the May the 7th, 2022. And I was pleased, and I was really lucky to watch it, to realize what is really going on. I always knew that something wrong with this world and with the way we're living, the way we're treating each other, but I haven't had that big picture, should I say, in my head yet. But it was clearly summarized by subject matter experts presenting on the forum and about climate change's issue, current wars, crises, financial, legal, social, how we are just ripped off, how we've been surrounded by some liars, unfortunately, and literally, which is really sad, we allow others to control our lives, and that shouldn't be acceptable, in my opinion, and everyone should watch this amazing forum, and it's just a full stop. Come here and share your opinion.
Yeah, I really appreciated the information shared, and more than that, the passion and commitment to change that the experts did display. And I'm very honored to follow up with them with my understanding of that, which really revolves around the fact that fear is the primary reason why they're hiding the facts from us, why they don't want to tell us the truth. They fear that people will rise up and make the necessary corrections within their societies in order to create a harmony that will prevent a lot of very honestly greedy and ambitious people from benefiting and capitalizing on our chaos and our ignorance. And this is something that we really have to continue to come together and discuss and inform one another and do away with a lot of the misinformation and deceit.
Yes, definitely. And, many people do not realize why this information will not be shown in the news. Like, media are still not showing it because they know that would cause the panic in the current situation of, the format where we live in, because in the consumerist format where we see that, the ones profit on the suffering of others, where, it's unprofitable to have smart, healthy, and free people, we see that we as people are actually, not useful in the system, but it's until there is no solution. I mean, when people see that there is a solution, there is no reason for panic, then they understand that it's not, about struggling to fighting for resources or fighting for something, because we have everything there. We don't have to fight for anything. But the key point, as you said, is the information, the access to information. So why do you think is so important so that people would make this step and watch the forum and watch and see this information, maybe to dig, deeper into this subject to understand that this really affects everyone?
It is really an important step, because without knowing what's going on, how people would realize what the solution is, what the actions we should take. So it's unavoidable, maybe a bit boring, but it's a step we all have to take just to spread the word and open the eyes to the problem we have.
Yes, absolutely. Not only the coming together of experts to share information and to communicate the truth collectively to the masses, but also to allow the masses to feel empowered to come together in their communities, in their classrooms, in their break rooms, on their social media platforms, wherever they dwell, understand that they are equal to the experts, to the decision makers, to the opponents of justice and harmony in the society, and come together and again, not only share the information, but develop plans of action to not only improve their immediate communities, but to allow those improvements to serve as models for other communities. And that's the beauty of this platform, the Creative Society, and us coming together as global citizens and brothers and sisters in the event of change.
It's like looking at the weather forecast in the morning. So you need to get information whether it's going to be raining, and you want to stay dry. So you need an umbrella. So it's a sort of information to know what actions to take.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
I agree.
Definitely. And just the point, the news and the decision making. So because exactly the information is the first step towards the action. You basing on this information, you decide what to do. And I would like to come to the current situation, what we are now experiencing, for example, not only in Europe, but really worldwide. And so we are now only at the beginning of the summer, but there are already new records of high temperatures, long-lasting heat waves, forest fires, and following water shortages due to the drought. Just one example from the California. So the California is now under the new water restrictions due to the droughts, the worst drought in the last 1,200 years. That's really so long. And the drought conditions also helped cause the coastal fire in May 2022. So more blackouts are expected due to the lower than normal water levels in the reservoirs. And it means that California will produce just half of the hydroelectric power typical for the year. So, and I'm asking, I'm really wondering, how do you perceive what the news? So what kind of action, for example, or restrictions or rules do you expect in such a situation?
I'll let Kahlil to start.
Absolutely. Well, as a former Californian and forest fire survivor myself, I know the dangers of these types of situations. Thankfully, I was able to be given an immediate heads up about, the oncoming fire and the dangers therein, and allowed enough time to prepare and to escape in time. But there were those that were a lot more challenged. Maybe they did not have the technology available to them to receive the communications that they needed in order to prepare for evacuation. And that was situations where the fire department had to come to their doorstep and get them out immediately. And unfortunately, they may have lost some items that they otherwise would have been able to keep if they had had the means or the information to gather the information in order to make a more preferable exit, if you will. So for me, it's very important to have the means of communication available to you so that you can adjust to those types of situations that you might not be ready for as it relates to emergency weather scenarios.
But it's kind of, it's like post-reaction, you have to respond on this situation, and it's kind of, you get to be prepared for the worst, because what we observe, there is no measures, no actions to prevent all this stuff. And this is, was my understanding, that watching this news, watching how we as people, as governments, as society deal with these challenges, the only thing that I observe, this is my subjective perception, that you just have to deal with it or prepare for the worst, expecting more devastating, cataclysms that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It's a lack of proactive actions. We're dealing with consequences. We're dealing, especially in emergency, it's really difficult. And it's another question whether they have information or whether, or not, or whether they share with us the information or they just don't care, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so we are getting, recommendations or even restrictions what to do or not to do. But what we see, this is a really short-term effect. Cause in general, we see that the situation getting worse year by year. And why don't we hear from the media or other sources what's going to be unreal and how to prevent all these problems fully? So because we, watching the forum, we understand that this is really possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody been paid to show us only what they want to show.
Right. Yeah. And that makes a lot of us feel immune. We feel like we're not in danger, that those kinds of occurrences, they are just things that happen on TV, but when we're provided with the real scientific data as it relates to the chances of us experiencing that ourselves, and we will be more prepared and we'll have that more in the front of our minds. I never thought that I would be in a forest fire. It's something I saw on TV throughout my life, but to actually be in that situation, and there's planes flying overhead and they're, dropping, liquid on the neighborhood. And it's just something that it's the type of situation that lets you know that you're never safe and you're not immune. And it could happen to you just like it can happen to someone else. So it's just important to have that global understanding and mindfulness that we are all interconnected. We all need to be concerned about not only the well-being of ourselves and our immediate loved ones, but the entire citizenry of our globe.
Absolutely. And I think, what you're saying also, that no one is immune and safe. That is what we, experience also. Many participants of creative society experience this by themselves, and, communicating with people worldwide. This is what we hear constantly, like no one has expected such events in their lives. So no one was prepared to this event. So because what we really, if we're really honest with ourselves, we understand that we don't really know what is going on. I mean, we know the agenda with CO2 and the green energy, that we need, to cut our CO2 emissions. But we see that decades after decades, we're just giving more money, more fundings, more taxes, but nothing changes, because the root of the problem is another one. And even, these fires that one could have say, this is just the high temperatures, but it's really related to the processes in the core, earth core, to these processes that we have seismic volcanic activities, and that even the ice is melting underneath, I mean, in the Arctic, because there is processes and volcanic activity in the Arctic. So this is really the key information where we people also understand that it's not something that like a weather will change the next day or next weeks, but this is a complex process that will affect every one of us if we do not wake up.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. The time is now. We have to wake up and shake up the order of things in a way that will make us all accountable to the times at hand, the emergencies at hand, and understand that we are living in a state of emergency each and every day, and it's time to act.
Absolutely. And I'm happy to present a short video from the forum, Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, and share our thoughts afterward.
The world is already divided into those who are desperately short of water and those who still have it. According to UN data, humanity needs to wake up to the looming water crisis. And this is despite the fact that nowadays we know how to extract water even from the air and even in the most arid region. Water from fog. In one of the world's largest capitals, Lima, located in the desert, fog is collected in huge nets and used to produce drinking water. Morocco has one of the largest plants, which produces up to 6,000 liters of drinking water a day from the fog. Its operation costs practically nothing and does not require external energy. Water from the air. Atmospheric water generators allow you to extract up to 3,000 liters of drinking water per day, and it can be increased up to 1 million liters. Can be mobile and stationary. They can operate from any energy source and in any climate, even in the arid desert, are used for the needs of the military in some countries and well proven in emergency situations. For example, in 2010, after the Haiti earthquake, the generator produced thousands of gallons of clean water for drinking, wound washing, and surgery. Do you agree to die of thirst in the presence of such modern technology? Water desalination units. Worldwide, about 16,000 desalination plants purify ocean water from salt and turn it into fresh water. They can produce millions of gallons of fresh water a day. and supply 300 million people. Innovative developments already allow desalination plants to be environmentally friendly, work even on the energy of ocean waves, and not to harm the ocean. In the water, they can retain the minerals needed for irrigation of fields and extract minerals from the remaining brine. This is ultimate cynicism and cruelty. When millions of people die of thirst in countries located on the ocean coasts, while such technologies are available. And this is the essence of the consumerist format of the society in which we live. Water retreatment. The technology has passed many tests. The water is safe even for drinking, and its quality exceeds World Health Organization standards. Meanwhile, every 2 minutes, one child dies from a disease related to contaminated water. 2 billion people in the world use drinking water sources that are contaminated with feces. By 2025, half of the world's population will live in areas with water scarcity. In just 3 years, it will be every second person. Actually, we don't have even these 3 years. Due to climate change, the situation on the planet is changing rapidly every day. And trouble comes where no one was expecting it. So, what will you personally choose? To die of thirst? Or to drink fecal water? That's the choice which you have in a consumer society. Nowadays, humanity has all the necessary technologies to provide water to drink for everyone. But in the consumerist format, trillions are spent to kill people, and saving our lives is way too expensive. By our inaction, we support this cruel, dead-end, and absurd format of the consumer society. The format in which these problems will never be solved, because our survival for the consumer society means earnings. Nowadays, profit is more important than our lives, and our deaths are just dry figures. The only way out is to change the format. The most important thing you can do now to save your life, the lives of your loved ones, and all people on the planet, is to join in informing about the creative society, because only by changing the format of society will we be able to prioritize the value of human life. We will introduce advanced technology everywhere and guarantee the protection of every person's life. Act now. Inform about the creative society.
Yeah, working on this wonderful technologies while sitting in a hot region like we're experiencing now the whole week, more than 30 degrees Celsius in Berlin, which is really abnormal. And there are, already news about water shortages and actions to, reduce water usage. So looking on these technologies, I'm asking myself, why do we have to suffer and, actually give up our comfort and comfortable living? I mean, all people or other have to die if they don't have the access to the water. If we have these solutions, if we have these technologies, which are much more less expensive than what we have today. And, the logical question is, why there are no discussions about investing money into these technologies, into implementing them. And what is your response in France on this information? What has to happen so that we see these technologies in our daily life like tomorrow?
Absolutely shocking information that was covered during forum. And it's scary calculation, really scary. But the root cause of this, that greed comes first. So people don't value our lives, I'm afraid, don't value at all. They only think about their profit. And as you said, considering that technologies are here, so what's stopping you guys? Money. Terrible.
Yep, that's the absolute truth. All I can do is echo Marina's statements. You know, it's very evident that these technologies are clearly available to us. And what really struck me about the video is the fact that communities that are literally living on water sources cannot access clean water. Okay, because they're being deprived of the technologies that are supposedly designed to assist them. So it clearly is a game of dirty politics and, the privatization of humanity, essentially, is what it boils down to, right? People are clearly concerned solely about their profits first and the, salvation of humanity second. So it's completely unacceptable. And we definitely have to, first counter that mindset, and secondly, counter the misinformation, and then counter the greed through the acquisition and dispersion of these resources that belong to humanity, no matter who invented it, So it's our planet, and all the materials that were involved in the construction of these technologies, they belong to us too.
Yes, absolutely. And just imagine, recently we thought that water shortages is something like typical for the regions, for the continents like Africa and sub-Saharan regions. But to be honest, what we see today, so we saw in the footage before, like Japan is experiencing abnormal weather. I mean, the high records of temperature. We're observing how the rivers, got dry and lakes are disappearing. And regarding also other crises, like energy crisis, everything is interconnected. Like tomorrow, we just can, sit without energy and without water, like in the middle of the Europe or any other region of our planet. And we don't want to wait till it will come really to the situation where there is no solution. But really to spread this information that, guys, we have solution that's much more, affordable, and we don't have to deliver the water, thousands of kilometers to any other regions, because we can make the independent, stations with water, with this amazing, solutions like everywhere, to be independent from any energy sources, from any weather. Because what we see in the climate is hitting each region, and we need this, this independent sources and technologies where we really can help each other, to survive in these situations.
And as it was said, it's time to act, really unite and act. The only solution to jointly act.
Yeah, we have the means, and we have to keep the communication going. Continuing with this forum, spreading this forum, and really mentoring those that care and want to make a difference, no matter what their education, no matter what their skill set. Strategically mentor, teach the people that want to make the change, and then position them in places where they can spread not only the information, but spread practical solutions that will create a lasting, change, and, just the true way of existing that we all deserve. It's very doable. We just have to continue to communicate and to mentor, to teach, and to really love. Love ourselves, love our fellow man, and love the future that we are here to build.
Yes, absolutely. And when my first reaction also behind the shock after watching the forum was like shock and surprise and anger. Like, there is so much solutions that I was not aware of. Like, I would like to tell, just to name few of them that were parts news for me, but parts also like that was just a name. But when I saw how it can be implemented, that I thought, wow, that can really fundamentally change our life. For example, just few of them. We saw the 3D printing. So like we can, for example, print as much houses as we want very quickly. And it is not expensive. Like, just think of people who are replaced, like refugees who are, living in the shelters years in cold winter and hot summers. And they can have in a short time housing, very comfortable and cheap, and a quick time built, so that people don't have to suffer. And many, regions that we have today, there are no finances to build new houses. We can do it like everywhere. This is just one of them. We have also vertical farms that allow us to grow food, even in the Arctic. Just imagine in the Arctic, and we don't need so much agricultural fields, so we don't need to lose so much territories for agricultural purposes. So, and there are much, many miles and territory is being lost due to these purposes. And we can use them for any other needs. We need the territory. Our population is growing, and the vertical farms allowing us, also to grow food like everywhere. Then we have also the 3D organ printing. So that, just imagine, there are no waiting lines anymore, for a kidney or a new bladder, or what we like. First thing that I think of, thinking of organs, organ trafficking will just become unprofitable. It will disappear. Like humans, people don't have to sell their kidney just to get money. It will be free everywhere because the technology is developing, but we need to prioritize these tasks. And we will benefit from these technologies. Of course we will, like everywhere. And there are so much more amazing solutions that we have. But I would like to ask you, for example, Marina, what other benefits do you see for yourself, for your family in the creative society?
Oh, lots of, as you mentioned, yeah. The problem is our brains, they refuse to believe that something can happen, but something can happen because our planet is facing cyclicity, as you know. So, but yeah, sitting in the nice chair in the middle of the United Kingdom, I don't believe that I wouldn't be able to drink a good quality water tomorrow, or I may be queuing years and years to get my kidney replaced or heart, I don't know. So, or I can be a refugee. But considering the amount of earthquakes on the planet nowadays, look at Afghanistan, that happened recently, Indonesia, well, it's a long, long list. We do need to get our houses built quickly. We do need 3D printing of organs. We do need prolongation of our health. Why not? And the right technologies, they exist, and they've been used in by close cycle of people. But why not share with others? Why we are lower than others? I think it's all should be open for use, and it will really, it's like a washing machine or a dishwasher. I'm talking because I'm female. I used to spend half a day washing by my hands. Well, partly by my hands. And nowadays, it's just one switch of the button and it's all done. And you just sit and read your book. Why not? Why having all these technologies and opportunity? Why we need to suffer? I don't understand. Creative society gives lots of opportunities and openness and transparency and the developments. We just need to unite and declare that we want them.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly. Absolutely. I agree with Marina 100%. Of course, we have the means, we have the resources to not only create a new society, but to spread it, to spread the society globally, internationally, universally, understand that we are not disconnected from nature, and the solution to, unnatural catastrophes is nature itself. And how do we harness those elements of nature and transport those elements of nature to, like, for example, you were talking about, the Arctic and just how, easy it can be to grow food there and to build houses there if we share that technology. So we just really need to reset our mentalities around the fact that we are collective. We do not have to be radical individualists to survive. We can improve, our quality of survival by being more collaborative in our mindset, in our intentions, and in our, building of this creative society. So, this is the solution. It's time for a universal reboot of how we're living, and creative means of doing that is, the final solution. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And while I was hearing to you, it was like an insight that we have today in the 21st century, the century, of information. We have the biggest misinformation ever because we have finally the technologies that allow us to communicate along just the forum Global Crisis. We Are People, We Want to Live, that was organized by people themselves in 100 languages. Just imagine, no organization, even the UN, can afford such, a big scale. But people themselves, because they want to live in a creative society, because they want to see and have these benefits for their families, like for everyone, they do, spread this information. And I was like, the insight right now that we have the borders in the information. We're living in our bubbles. In each country, we have our information pool, but we don't get also the best practice examples. For example, if I hear and see that, for example, in a neighborhood country, there are wonderful solutions or wonderful, examples. For example, like some countries now are testing the format where people only work 4 days and less hours, but the same amount of money they earn. But I'm asking, and it's already proven that it's effective. And you don't have to lose so much time, in the work, not seeing your family, losing your health there. And I see the example where it's working, it's effective, and people, in some countries are already testing it and ready to implement it. Like, I'm asking, why don't we have it? Why? And I think that this is exactly the first step to ask, wait a minute, there is already working. We do want also to have it. And this is the same effect when we spread the information on also the solutions. This is very important to understand that there are all the solutions that we need. It is possible, it is real. But I think the question arises also for people who saw the forum, who watched the forum. Is it really that? What is your reaction? Isn't it the time to act? Do you really want to leave everything as it is, or is it a time to step up and join the project and share this information, to change the format, spread this information? You don't need to work 24 hours. You just need to, press the button and share the information, talk to your friends. What is your thoughts on it?
Well, for me, it's obviously pretty clear that building creative society, building community of people who cares, who want to look after each other, who want, as you said, not go to work and pretend working 4 hours and the rest 4 hours just pretending that you're working with a smart face. So just the honest society. So creative society seriously is a practical solutions to overcome all the crises we currently facing. And it's really, really necessary to unite all people for the future of humanity as we see it now. And United Nations General Assembly that was also highlighted the importance of unification, that the importance of the change. And we're not crying, it's a last call for change. And on the assembly, the representatives of the countries, they tirelessly just appealed and stated that the international community can only cope with the global problems together and only jointly, and reducing our consuming habits. I know it's difficult, but we can reduce. We should stop killing our planet with our own hands and just restart aiming for creation. And who makes this society? You and me, our families, our friends, our co-workers, everyone. And creative society includes everyone and discriminates against no one, and it's offering people comfort and support that it's so important nowadays, and technologies and access to technologies. And so I think everything can be changed, and it's absolutely reality, and the lives of all people can be changed already now. We will have everything with creative society.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Creative society, it's common sense. It's common sense that we communicate amongst ourselves the truths of our planetary reality and work towards its improvement. When we wake up in the morning and we get our day going, we want it to be, as favorable as possible for us all. So we have to, come together and give ourselves the opportunity to have a favorable existence. And the key to that is transparency. We have to be transparent about who we are, where we need to be, and what the status of change is and how we can move the needle forward. We're not lacking for knowledge. We're not lacking for resources. I think if anything, we're lacking, in our, ethical and our more moralistic prioritization. We have to prioritize what is important on a big picture level, because we can't survive without each other, and we can't improve our situations without each other. I don't care what part of the globe you live in. I don't care what your social status is, what your education level is. There's just, it's time out. It's time to end the stratification of humanity and focus on what commonly links us all and bolster that, and then give ourselves an opportunity to create solutions that are, best for us. And, there's multiple solutions, right? I mean, we can talk about it in a general sense, but, we can also talk about specific solutions. I have solutions that are specific to my lived experience and my pool of resources and my network within the creative society and so forth, so it's not really as challenging as it's portrayed to be. The challenge is us humbling ourselves to the priority, that's much higher than our individuality. And it starts right here. And let's do it. Let's just do it. It's time out for just talking. We have to complement the dialogue with direct applicable action.
Definitely, Kahlil. Thank you very much for this impulse. Maybe you can just, take few examples of what little actions can everyone do today so that people, all 8 billion people on our wonderful planet, can find out that there is a solution, because some people say, hey, this is amazing idea, this is amazing concept. I agree and I want to see it, but what can I do? So maybe you can share a few ideas, what little actions everyone can do.
Yeah. Mother Teresa said, if you can't if you can't feed a million, feed one, right? So I think you have to, start at home. Are you taking care of yourself first and foremost? Because you won't be any good to anyone if you don't first take care of yourself. Be sure you're taking care of yourself. Obviously, you want to take care of your family, because if your house isn't in order, and if your home, isn't in order, it's going to be hard for you to get out in the world and to help others, and then collaborate, right? Like, this creative society is about collaboration. After this broadcast, I expect to continue communication with both you and Marina on ways that we can integrate our various resources to work towards change in our communities. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, as the old saying we have here, sharing is caring. And with caring, comes change and the opening of doors to transformation of our planet and our reality. So it's time.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, Marina, go ahead.
Excuse me. Yeah. And I would start from believing in yourself. Believe in yourself. Stop shifting responsibilities on others. Don't expect anything from others, and start value your own life and lives those who are around you, and just start create and change the form of society from consuming to creative. This is the only way. Share the information about it. It's important. It's crucially important to share the information that we can live better, and we must.
Definitely. Everyone deserves a human-worthy future, human-worthy life. After all, our life is pretty short and we need to value it. But unfortunately, what we know and see today, that we have another world where human life has no value, unfortunately. And, today it depends on everyone how quickly the information will spread around the world, that we have a better perspective, we have a way out. And I'm very grateful for you, friends, for being with us today, for sharing your understandings and thoughts. And after all, exactly, the information about creative society brought us here together across the oceans. And, this is only one little example, how people can come together and come up with solutions, with ideas, and everyone has, so much to offer. And this first step is exactly to inform yourself. And if we really want to live in a creative society, we need to make the step, to make and to see that you are not alone. So that's really about a solution for each problem that we face today. Unfortunately, what we see the world now in, healthy people, smart people, free people who are independent in their decision making, they're unprofitable. And we saw enough examples and facts about it. If we leave it as it is, there is just a dead end for the consumer society, because we are already in all possible crises that you can even imagine. But at the same time, we have such wonderful solutions. We have such wonderful people with ideas, with solutions, with the will to do so. And the majority of people would, because we have the same goal, we have the same wish to live in a better world. And the only way is to inform yourself, to get together, and to spread this information. And as soon we are the majority of people who know and support the creative society, we will be able to implement it on the legislative level in each country. And I invite you, dear friends, everyone, to join also this kind of discussions on the platform of Creative Society TV. and continue exchange your thoughts, your ideas, your insights, and to speed up with the first step of implementing the creative society. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Thank you very, very much, dear friends.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you too.
Peace.